Welcome back to Zach Collects Stuff, and it's time to do another show in Zeeland. I've done this show a couple times in the past, and I've had pretty good showings each time. There's a couple guys that I know that come to this show all the time, and I buy cards off of them. They buy cards off of me. We trade, and so I'm really looking forward to this show. Looking forward to see what kind of comes to my table and that I can put into my own collection. So, without further ado, let's get to it.
Got a big haul going to the show this weekend. Show Saturday in Zeeland, Michigan. Looks like I have about 12 to 14 boxes, and then I have a giant tote back here full of randoms and miscellaneous. Of course, I have my showcase here that I put my nicer slabbed cards or nicer high-end autographs in, and then it's a bunch of random base here that I'm going to try to move in bulk. So. How much stuff I came back from the show with. Doesn't really seem like I made a dent, but I felt like I moved a decent amount of stuff. Obviously I have my graded cards over there, but yeah, that's the haul back. Obviously it's a lot of stuff I brought there. Added a few cards to the collection. I'll show those you down. Another successful show in the books in Zeeland. So kind of a longer build up for this one. I feel like I was more prepared going into this one because I had everything priced much further in advance, but still ended up doing great. Made more than I spent, which is always a great thing. My wife always tells me I can come home with more money than I left with. That's kind of the goal, right? But I'm going to show you what I picked up. And so I didn't really have much chance to get out and walk around. It was very busy, but I got out to walk around a little bit at the very beginning before the show started and at the very end in the last hour or so. So I'll start off with some vintage that I picked up. Picked up a 68 that I didn't have. Picked up a bunch of base 69s I did not have. So pretty excited about that. Definitely biting off a big chunk of that set there, so that's cool. Got a bunch of these 58s. They're just low quality, low grade condition. This is probably my favorite one. It's in really rough shape, but it's got Mays and Duke Snider on there. Like, how cool is that card? That's historical right there. Definitely happy to have that one to fill a spot in my 58 set. This one is from These ones are from the guys that always come around when I do this show in Zeeland with their vintage that they always bring in. And there was a big stack of these 58s that were low quality, low grade, and he kind of called them junk, but I think they look great, and they're going to look great in this set. So that's what we have there. I think there's no other big names in here except for the Ernie Banks All-Star Game card, which is pretty sweet. A little bit of damage on the top there, but super cool lot nonetheless. So those will help me fill that 58 set a little bit. That's my long-term goal, is to build that set. The first purchase I made today, I went around and I found these. This is from Marvel Hero Battle. I'm not sure if it's Japanese or Korean. I have no idea what that language is, but they're super cool cards. They're all Marvel. There's some Spider-Man ones here. Obviously the villains of Spider-Man. And then there's some Guardians of the Galaxy ones here. Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Gamora, Yondu, I think is his name, right? Star-Lord, Wasp, Hawkeye, and then there's a Spidey. And I think I paid $10 for this whole lot. And now, in doing some research after I bought them, they're not very valuable from what I can find. The Spidey is a couple bucks. The other ones are probably 10 to 50 cents. But So I paid over what I should have for these, but still, they're super cool cards, super cool looking cards. I paid $10 for all of them. Paid $5 for this lot, and then I paid $5 for the Thor. So super cool purchase there. Oops, bumped the camera. My buddy John had a few cards for me. First of all, I'm trying to finish up the 1977 Star Wars run, and I only need some from the orange, and he had 8 of the oranges that I needed, as well as a couple really cool vintage cards. The 65 tops with Maze and Santo on there, super awesome, and then a vintage Tigers card that I really liked the look of, and then a Riley Green Chrome rookie. So those all came from my buddy John. And then the trades started coming. I had one guy come around. We made a couple trades. The first trade was for these 4. He had a couple other Bauman cards that he was interested in. And so I kind of threw these together, these 4. Volpe, Carlos Jorge, Cam Collier's kind of the big card in this mix. And then I got a Corbin Carroll. So I like the Cam Collier is super cool. It's that green lunar or something from Bauman, I think is what it's called, but it has a cool design on the side there. And then the Corbin Carroll is this spotlight one. Can't remember exactly what it's called. Bauman Spotlight, something like that. But super happy with that trade. And then the same guy was looking at some of the Ohtani stuff, and he found a couple more things that he liked. And I looked through his stuff, and he had a Gunnar Henderson pink refractor that I really liked. And then this Ichiro, and I think what ended up happening was he found I don't even know, a couple cards that were maybe $10 worth, and it wasn't a straight up trade. I gave him some cash plus those cards for these 2 cards. So super cool to have another Ichiro. This one's a PSA 8. The one that I have is an SGC 8.5. So PSA is always the more respected holder. Happy to have those 2 in the collection now. So very cool to get those in trade, and a little bit of cash attached to that one. Another trade, just a very small one. He had found a couple inserts that he liked, and he had this in his box. And I figured with Blake Snell doing so well this year, I love heritage color, especially in a PSA 10. This card was super cool. So I gave him the inserts, and then I gave him I think $20 in cash plus the inserts that he had, which was only a couple bucks worth. And he was more than happy. He actually only had a comp at $20. These actually comp right around 35 to 40, I think. So they're selling for right around 35 to 40 on eBay. And I told him that, and I made sure that he was aware that I wasn't going to hose him. I was going to make sure that he got a fair deal on that. So that was a cool one that came to my table too. Another trade, I traded a Casey Mize, Allen and Ginter rookie autograph for these 2 Miguel Cabrera relic cards, PC cards there. Very cool. This is probably my favorite card that I picked up, maybe my second favorite card I picked up. Museum Collection, 2018, Castellanos, Miguel Cabrera, dual, I think this is from probably their pants, maybe, or a pinstripe from the jersey, the button line of the jersey. But it's numbered to 35, serial number to 35, in the bottom right corner there, right by Castellanos' glove. And it's just a cool chunky patch of Miggy and Nick Castellanos. So had to get that one, got it for $20. Super cool card there. And then the last one I got, the last lot that I bought, this was kind of the big purchase of the day. There was a guy that I had walked to his table a few times, and he had a few cards that I really wanted. So he has this Nolan Arenado refractor Bauman Chrome. Possibly going to get this one graded. I have the Blue Wave refractor in a PSA 10, and this would look really good next to it if it was graded, if it came back at 10 as well. And centering on this one looks pretty darn good. So everything else kind of looks pretty good as well. The centering on the back is a little bit OC, but I'm still going to send it in, and hopefully I can get a 10 on it. So nice one there. This was also in there, this Derek Jeter Gold. He's a little bit high on this. $50 is well above comps, especially for one that's off-center. So he worked with me on price. So I got that Jeter Gold, obviously, for the personal collection. And then this awesome looking Blue Lava, I think is what it's called, Torkelson autograph. And this one was just above comps, and they're comping right around 65 to 70. So for these 3 cards, I got these 3 for 125 together. So 160 as far as his prices were concerned. He came down quite a bit for the lot of these. Super nice guy. Talked to him a few times throughout the course of the day. And yeah, there's always great people at this show. I always do really well. It's always pretty well attended. And actually the last couple times we've done this show, it's actually rained when it was supposed to be nice outside. So that brings a lot of people into the show. Yeah, another Zeeland show, another success, I believe. I had these 2 cards on display, and you've seen these cards before in my What Were They Thinking videos. But I had these on display in my showcase, and these drove so much conversation. And I think it kind of took people back to see a Michelle Gilman card in there just because it is so ridiculous. And I let them know that it wasn't for sale. These are purely conversation pieces. So I think that might be my favorite part of doing these shows is talking about the ridiculousness of the hobby and also the greatness of the hobby. So thanks for watching Zach Collect Stuff. I'll be back next time with my 100th video, which is going to be a box opening of a bunch of packs. So look forward to that one. And until then, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comment section. I will respond to you as soon as I can. Until next time, thanks for watching Zach Collect Stuff, and keep collecting.